What is up, you guys? Gamer Live Studio here, back at it with another off the top video. And today I'm here to talk about and discuss with you guys about the Microsoft and Xbox, what's going on with them in terms of the handheld. We'll go over all of that stuff, and including the next gen console, Project Prime, right? There's some interesting stuff and tidbits over the last couple of weeks. I've been keeping an eye on it. I didn't want to make videos right away. I just want to kind of like wait and settle because the June showcase is literally going to be coming up in the next like 2 weeks or so from the time of this recording. So I figured like, hey, I think this is a good time to really talk about and discuss because with Microsoft and Xbox and their strategy, we are starting to see all of the pieces are starting to fall into place. We really are starting to see it, and it's right before our eyes in terms of the surface, what's going on. And then we're going to talk about PlayStation and how they're not doing so well right now. They're still continuing not doing so well. Trust me, I'm sick of it. I want PlayStation to succeed. I want them to make money and also, make these great and fantastic games. They do have studios, they have talent, but unfortunately, a lot of the fanboys on both sides, right? We got Xbox fanboys and, PlayStation fanboys. Personally, for me, I'm a fan of Xbox, but there's certain things that I didn't like, right? I didn't like the whole price hike, what they're trying to do with their old consoles like the Series S and X, raising it up, and they also saying, hey, we are going to introduce also $80 games, even though Nintendo did it first. That, and we already know PlayStation is also following suit because I already made a video about that, and it really is no surprise. But there's certain things that I do not like of what Xbox is doing, but overall, in general, what they are doing right now in terms of some of the things that they're doing, I gotta be honest with you, is a hell of a lot better than what PlayStation is doing right now. In terms of strategy, the tactics that they're using, and there's also some other things as well that I did find interesting, with in terms of the sales, and also they might be money hatting on a certain game, like I guess it was the Space Marine remaster or Mastercraft edition. They, Sega and Xbox are teaming up with that, and is not going towards the PlayStation 5. We'll talk about that too. There's just a bunch of things to go over piece by piece and really pointing things out. This is what I do in this video. So again, I might be a little bit sick, just letting you guys know. So I got my water right here, so bear with me. I might, got my voice a little crack or sniffles and sneeze. So I do apologize in advance. I'm just letting you guys know. But I'm going to try to get through this video, relative at ease. I'm going to try to take my time and go through it and talk about some things and my thoughts on it. So again, if you do enjoy the video, make sure you like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think with all the information that I'm going to be talking about and pointing it out? And hopefully you guys do enjoy. And without further ado, let's get started with the video, because there was a lot of stuff. And again, it was better for me to like just settle down, relax, let the news kind of do its course. And if I think right now is kind of the perfect time because it's mostly like mellow out. We got the June showcase for Xbox is coming up. I don't know when PlayStation will, but I will be doing both of those live streams. When PlayStation announced their showcase, we'll do a live stream for that. And then when the Xbox June 8th showcase, I will be doing a live stream for that. So if you want to, stick around for those, trust me, I'll be pretty much be ready to go early in the morning, and we'll do the live stream. We'll watch it together. We'll talk about all the games, some of the excitement stuff, and have a good time. That's what we hear about. You know what I'm saying? But for now, I want to go into this one here. Now, this one right here is the document for the FTC. I know about what happened with the FTC and the cases. That we'll get to that part I know about that. I just want to start from the beginning before I work my way down. But this right here with the whole FTC thing, and then Microsoft was, with this roadmap to 2023. I did mention this when we was talking about the next gen Xbox, when those kind of like little leaks and little rumors are starting to talk about. But basically what I'm saying is that, a lot of people that we hear on these fanboy sides, especially on PlayStation side, say, well, they're not going to make a next gen console and blah 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 and all this bullshit. But that seems to me that is a lie, because basically they are going to continue to make consoles. Now again, I don't know when into the future, but they are still continuing to make console boxes and a handheld, so we can see that. So we can see right here, this one I love to use, because this is definitely is pointing us that everything that I'm going to be showing you in this video is starting to come true, and all those pieces are starting to fall together within this document. That's why we got the roadmap of 2030. So when we scroll down here, right, and I mentioned this, like, this is when, during the time back in the Xbox One generation, this is where they was at during the Xbox One generation, right? They were starting to put games onto PC and high-end PCs. So it was consoles and PC. That's what they was focusing on first, getting that, building the foundation, like building the first layer of the foundation, the first core pillar, right? And then later on, when we get into the next generation gaming, which where we at right now in this current gen consoles, right? I'm on PC, but again, I still support Xbox regardless, because I still got Game Pass on PC, right? And you can obviously, like, again, just to show proof that I'm still, have Game Pass. I'm still subscribed to it. You can still buy games on here, so I am a subscriber to it, and I love the service. I've been playing Starfield lately, Expedition 33, Valve, Forza Horizon 5, and I still purchase Forza Horizon 5, and I'm still playing it on Game Pass. And I think I don't have it yet on Steam yet, but when it gets closer to like the end of life cycle, I'm probably going to be purchasing it on the Steam platform as well. I did it with Forza Horizon 4. With that one, right? Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster, right? So there's plenty of games on here that I've been playing, so I've been enjoying. So, but here, going back to this slide right here, right? This is where we at currently in this generation. We only got 3 more years until we head into next generation. 3 more, we're going into next one. So, but we can start seeing that a lot of the things that they was doing in terms of marketing, right? In terms of like this is an Xbox, that's an Xbox, right? In terms of marketing and how their strategy is moving forward, those pieces are starting to fall together, right? We know that you can play games on the browser, right? With Game Pass and stuff like that. They got it now through smart TVs, mobile devices, right? Low and high end PC. That was back in last generation during the Xbox One. They was building that foundation and making sure that is good, and then they went to the next level and say, okay, now we can put it on more devices, right? Like in terms of browser, mobile. They did put it on the Steam, the streaming stick and stuff. I think before there was rumors that Xbox wanted to do their own stick, but they figured that they partnered with Amazon, right? Which Amazon Fire Stick is already available now, and other set-top boxes is already available. They figure like, hey, why not just cut costs? From a company and a business standpoint, cutting costs, and figure like, hey, we might as well just partner up with them, and in return we'll do something for them, right? With Amazon, right? Amazon Prime and the video, right? What did they do, right? Xbox says, okay, we'll lend you the Fallout, license, because they got that, they own that. Xbox and Microsoft owns that license, right? Todd Howard's in charge of it, right? From Bethesda. They said, okay, we'll lend the license out to Amazon, but in return, we're gonna be able to put Game Pass on your streaming stick. And I think that was a fair compromise and a fair deal, right? Amazon, got some numbers up, right, and see some success, a little bit successful growth from the Fallout TV show, and in return, they said, okay, you did that for us. We'll let you put the Xbox Game Pass app onto our Fire Sticks, which that happened because guess what? They made a trailer about it, right? Saying, hey, if you got a Amazon Fire Stick and you already got it, well, hey, you can download Game Pass on there and play your game. So even if you don't have a smart TV, you can still do it with a streaming stick, which is smart, right? Cloud, consoles, that's where we're at right now. High-end PCs are still continuing, and cloud. So there really is pulling out all the stops, right? And you can tell from this slide right here, you don't see, those two symbols there, but now you're starting to see sustainability and accessibility. Those are the key things, right? You want sustainability across all platforms, and it has to be accessible across all platforms, which it is, right? Because again, I'm on PC and I'm still gaining access to Xbox games, and Xbox games are still being ported over to where? On Steam as well. So I can purchase Xbox title games on Steam without a problem. They have a storefront, they're putting out a lot of games, right? I'll pop it up real quick just so you know what's going on. So, right? And we do see PlayStation is doing that as well, right? But in a more slower pace, not a lot, right? So, right, we're on the store, right? We go type in the Xbox, right? Xbox Game Studio got 71 games on here, so there's definitely plenty of games on here that you can purchase and play and buy stuff. DLC, this, that, there's a bunch of things, right? So there's plenty of games on there. So they definitely are making it sustainability for across all these devices, and it's accessible all across all devices as well. So we're starting to see that, right? And now we're going to step into the future, right? Because this is going to be the road towards 2030, right? 3 more years, we're going to be getting into we're in 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So like 5 more years, right? We're going to get into 2030. And when you look at it right here, right? We're going to start to see some of those things are coming true, right? We're still seeing all of this, right? But also we are starting to hearing about the handheld is going to be coming out first, then the next gen Xbox is going to be coming out second, which is true, right? And then this is going to start making sense later, because now it's starting to hint the fact that these consoles are going to be more than they're not just going to be a console, it's going to be a console hybrid PC like. So this is where, like, at first, I mean, we know, but what funny is that when you see this slide, right, you got keyboard and mouse, but we know that these consoles right here do have keyboard and mouse support, but they don't put it on this one. This is where we at currently right now at the time of this recording, right? And you would have simply say, okay, well, they should have put that on here because these consoles do support keyboard and mouse, which Xbox, the series, whether it's the Series X or S, they do support keyboard and mouse, which is true. But we don't see that here until, when it says Gaming Beyond, right? Until you start to really see gaming keyboard and mouse. So that just gives us a hint that these consoles is going to be more than just a console. These are going to be PC like performance consoles. These are going to be more PC. So I'm guessing that they're not going to be, I think in my last video when we was talking about the Xbox Prime console, and I was saying about talking about hardware specs and stuff like that, I wasn't wrong about that, because usually when we're talking about a console, they always be a couple of generations behind, and then try to make it seem like, oh look, this is next gen consoles, but they're still dealing with old hardware. So with this right here, right, when we start seeing keyboard and mouse, right, we're seeing that it's starting to make sense that maybe this console, this next gen console, is going to be PC hybrid. It's going to be more PC hardware. So I'm guessing they're not going to stick with old hardware. They're going to be moving that up. So when you're moving up to the more latest hardware, it doesn't have to be the super latest, but it can be like a generation behind or two related, the latest of like PC hardware, and how they're going to build it is going to be more open. Then most likely that once that goes up to that thing, the prices is going to go up. That's how it works. It will never go down, because if they're going to aim for this, right, with keyboard and mouse support, then that means these consoles is going to be PC hybrid like. So if you're going to enter in that stage and make it more open and broader, right, and crack it open more, and we saw evidence that, again, Steam is going to be able to be there, but we'll get to that. But the first step is definitely going to be that handheld. It's going to be that first step and that glimpse that we're going to see what next gen console is going to be like. Because again, if we see it right here, it's going to work across the handheld and this console, right? And the funny thing is, you see these are mostly highlighted. So, right, they're focusing on cloud, which is true. They're focusing on cloud. They are focusing on, next gen handheld. And you can see it, it's clear as day, it's highlighted. And on top of that, you're going to see it right here with accessibility and the next controller as well for these consoles. And is able to work with older controllers as well. So if you have an older controller, it still can work with the next gen consoles. Or it can even work on a handheld. So this is why they made it where it's more sustainability and accessibility. So that means it's going to work with all of it together. And another thing to point out, right, real quick, with the mobile controller, that has already happened. Because the backbone, the Xbox backbone controller, that came true. So this is true. This is starting to come true. This is going to be true. So overall, that we can safely say that Xbox is still going to continue making next generation consoles and handhelds, probably here and to the future. They're still going to continue on with that path, okay, but they're doing it in a different way. But let's go over the whole handheld thing. Right now, I was talking about this with my brother. He said it looked ugly and all this stuff, and personally, when I looked at this, I think it's just fine. Okay, I don't know why people are complaining about it. Oh, well, it's just the Legion Go 2 with the logo. Okay, and guess what? Sony can easily slap on any logo. We can even say for Apple. If Apple said, look, this is the eye lamp, the Apple eye lamp, whatever the fuck it is, and they'll say it costs like $100. As long as they put an Apple logo, they put a small little a 30-second commercial, say, hey, look, the Apple eye lamp. Motherfuckers is still gonna go out there and buy this shit. For real, like it doesn't matter, it's an Apple eye lamp. They'll say, yep, it's charged this much. Oh man, everybody's gonna be different about it. It's trash. It's worthless. It's a fucking eye lamp. Oh, but it's useful. It helps me to see at night. We see all this fucking garbage of some bullshit on both sides, right? The way how I look at it like this. In terms of like, it's a handheld, and the only thing that they did different was they made it more ergonomics, which I do like this. I do not like how some of these portables be like kind of flat or not really ergonomic as much. I don't like it. For this, they put on actual like controllers right here, and they tuck it in. I gotta give them credit where credit is due. It's probably gonna hold pretty nicely in my hands. I like that. Like again, like I use, this controller all the time right here, and I like how I can just hold it like this. So if it was stretched out like a tablet, right, and actually have it be like that, I'll love it. I'll probably will get that type of handheld over this. Like again, I'm not a handheld fanatic, So don't come after me saying, yo, man, you're a hand. No, I'm not. I'm not a handheld fanatic, okay? I'm not really a handheld person. But if I had to choose, right, in terms of the Steam Deck, the Nintendo Switch, the Switch 2, this one, like all the ones that I have seen, this one is by far is the most, for me personally, I will get, just because of the ergonomics. I'm more ergonomics more than anything. I want it to feel good in my hands because for long term, right? That's why I buy these controllers, and these are third-party controllers, but I got it because it feels good in the hand and I can play it for long terms. When I'm doing what I need to do, whatever. That's why I have controllers like that. Okay? So this right here, when I'm looking at these and we're going through the pictures because these are leaked, they're probably gonna change some things up, make it a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner, because it does look like it's fingerprints. I mean, of course, it's like somebody got to put their greasy little hands over it. But so far, I do like this way. It doesn't seem like the controller and the handle sticks out. This is like tucked right into here, and it's more like closing shape. I do like that, and you can see the Xbox, the buttons right here. So the X, Y, B, and A right here. The joysticks that are laid out, which I do appreciate. I like the joystick layouts for the Xbox over the PlayStation, right? Not to disrespect the PlayStation controller. The PlayStation controller is a massive improvement over the DualShock 3. I think what they did with the DualShock 4 and then going into the DualShock 5 is amazing, right? The DualShock 4, how it is, like, is much more bigger, more ergonomics, actually have triggers and stuff like that than the DualShock 3, where the triggers are like flat. It's like flat. It's like kind of like, ugh, it doesn't feel good. But once they made those improvements, it was a lot of, I bet you it's a big improvement. And especially when they go and play online, especially like Call of Duty, I bet you that DualShock 4, they'll play that over the DualShock 3 any day because of those triggers. And then they made even more improvements over the PlayStation 5. But in terms of battery life, it's not good. But ergonomic wise, I give them a thumbs up. I just personally do not like the stick layout that they have on the PlayStation. I don't like them close together. I like them like how Xbox did it. It's more spread out. It makes me feel a lot more comfortable to play. That's just a personal thing for me. So with that being said, we see it right here, this and that. We can go to the next picture. I'm guessing there is 2 versions of this. So we can see this is not as dirty as the black one, but we can see it is a lot more clear. I like the buttons to it, and that's kind of weird. I like this one doesn't even have the color, so I think it's still in prototype phase because it doesn't have the colors, but this one does. I like this one. The white one looks really, really nice and clean. Speaker grills, right? You got the symbols right here, right? Yeah, long as it's like, as long as it looks like an actual handheld and it feels good in the hands, I'm perfectly fine with that. This will be the handheld that I will get over the Steam Deck or the Nintendo Switch 2. Over the PlayStation Portal. That looked crazy. Because I like the ergonomics. The ergonomics for me is the most important thing. The layout and ergonomics. Those are the 2 most important things for me. If you got both of them, I'm happy. If you only got one of them, I'm okay with it, but I may not stick with it long term. Right? If you got none of those, then I can't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, yeah. That's what I always look at a handheld. I want it to be, it feels good in the hands, it feels great, I can play it long term. If I want to sit up like this or I just want to chill, I can, do what I need to do. So far, I mean, the leaks are here, so see that. What else? And I guess we do have the specs for them too. So, yep, here's the specs as well. And this right here does give us a glimpse into what next generation console is going to be like. Because if you got games are running, if you got something like this, then most likely next generation consoles is going to be even better than the handheld what they're showing. But at least just give us a glimpse of like, okay, what to expect as well. And the RAM right here, rumors. Okay, this is like more rumors. Is 64 gigabytes. I don't think it's 64. I think it's either 16 gigs or 32 gigs. 64, that's a lot, and that probably is going to cost a lot of money. So I don't think it's 64. Maybe like if there's another version, like another one, can you see 64 gigs? Like sure, right? You know, typical 8 cores into extreme CPU, 32 watts. Okay, that sounds good. And then this one is like a lesser power processor. Both displays, 7-inch, 120 hertz LCD display, so it's not an OLED display. Like again, it's typical. You gotta cut costs. At some point, it's like, you know, it's like a give and trade thing. You know, it's like, yeah, we'll put more power for a CPU, but the display will cut into an LCD display. If that's the trade-off, I don't mind that trade-off. That's perfectly fine. I'd much rather have more power underneath the hood than making it look beautiful on the screen. Because to be honest with you, that's why I got a PC for. If I got PC and a display here, I can make it look as beautiful as I want to. For a handheld that I'm out portable, I don't need it to look like some gorgeous screen. I'm just there to play a game and enjoy myself and then put it away. So I don't mind that. For 120 hertz, that's pretty good. You know, it's like standard 120 hertz. 7-inch, I don't know how people will feel about that. I think the Nintendo Switch is about like 8-inch, right? Could be. So 7-inch, I don't mind that. Xbox, yeah, the Xbox Vision version will have Xbox branded buttons, and the Roll Ally 2 is expected to have more modern grips to better ergonomics. Yes, which we do absolutely see that. Like, we need that because I like the layout, how the joysticks are separated, how it is. And then you have the ergonomics of those handles, man. Those handles, like these right here, feels good. Okay, if I'm gonna play on a tablet and it has these type of handles, I'll be happy with this. I'll be happy. We'll have 2 USBs and a potential HDMI port, which is good. Which I think if you can make it as where if I can connect it to a TV, so if I say, you know, if this one can go on the web, right, I can download my games, right, and it has a HDMI port on there, then basically this is like pretty much like everything that I need to take on vacation, like where if I'm not really doing nothing at work in terms on a laptop and I just want to take a fun little gaming device, but still have the power and the performance of doing other things, you know, with apps, right, with Netflix, Hulu, right, all those stuff, and I'm able to plug it in to a TV and it blows it up, and I can probably take like a little controller, like again, take a nice little Bluetooth controller with it, connect it with it. That's pretty good. That's really, really good. I would love to see that. Expecting to offer up to 2 terabyte storage. So I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna have either 500 gig, a terabyte, 2 terabytes. That makes sense. And hopefully they got expandability too. Integration of the Xbox version, expect a deeper integration with Xbox features like Game Bar and Game Pass. Yes, which is true. So it seems like, you know, so far it seems like this is going to be a pretty solid device, and I think it just saves a lot of cost because, like, again, the difference is because when PlayStation makes their own handheld, they make it and manufacturing it in-house. So they're the ones who's doing all of the work in terms of like design, this, that, all those specifications. They're the ones who doing it in-house. Xbox approaches is like, look, we already have all these other handheld devices that's already making, whatever. Why not we just put our software expertise on one of their whatever devices that they have, which they partner up with Asus, and they say, hey, can you do an Xbox? Can you make an Xbox version for us and brand it? We'll help you cover maybe like half of the cost for it. Instead of Xbox making it for themselves, they're just gonna have Asus to be the front to say, hey, you can do this. If you can do this, we'll give you this and we'll help you, whatever. Okay, right? Can't complain about it. I don't think manufacturer will be like very upset. I mean, because Asus is gonna get a cut, Xbox is gonna get a cut, and they're working together instead of having Xbox and Microsoft just make everything in-house by scratch. They're just taking the approach of, there's already like plenty of handhelds out there in the wild. Let's just talk to some of these partners and see if we can make a deal or strike a deal that where we just put our expertise in software and stuff like that. You manufacture the console for us and whatever. It's like that type of partnership. Which to me personally, I think that's smart. Especially in the current market that we're in right now by the time of this recording, with the whole tariff situation and stuff like that and price hikes and raising. This is the most smartest approach that you can ever do. Right? It's smart. It's just like, look, you already have all these handhelds out there. And this is why, if we go back to here, right, when I was talking about where they wanted to, I think there was a rumor or a leak from like Windows Central, right, from I think Jez Gordon, says that, Xbox is making a streaming stick device, codename whatever. But that didn't came to fruition. I think they had that in a plan and a pipeline, but they sat there as they figured, saying, why do we want to manufacture these small little devices anyway? Meanwhile, there's already devices out there, like again, Fire Stick, Roku, right? You got, there's so many other set-top boxes devices. Why not just put our software and technology and just send an app over there to them, or whatever, have permission and say, hey, if you do this, I'll give you do this, I'll do that for you, right? Which it makes sense. I mean, Fire Stick now has access to Xbox Game Pass, and remember, Amazon has their own streaming service type of thing, right? They have like Luna, right? And again, those are competition, right? You got Luna and Xbox Game Pass. But you see how Microsoft and Xbox came to the table, make a deal with Amazon and said, hey, I know you're making movies and this and that on Prime. Well, we got licenses for for Fallout. We'll lend you the licenses and give you this if you allow us to put Game Pass onto your streaming devices, right? And I think that was pretty much the deal. And guess what? It works, and both sides are happy. Amazon is going to get another season 2 of Fallout, and it was really successful, right? So they're going to keep that success train going because they're getting backing for that. They're getting the license for it. And then in return, Amazon saying, okay, you want to put your Game Pass app into our platform and our Fire Sticks, on our Fire Sticks, and not only just stick, right? It could be on the tablet too, Fire Stick tablets, Fire Stick TV, Fire Stick, whatever it is, Cube, whatever. Saying, okay, we'll let you do that. And that's smart. It's like, why make an in-house device, that's an Xbox branded, oh look, here's our streaming stick, and then they put their whatever. They sat there and said, look, to just save costs and manufacturing costs and shit, let's just partner up with partners that we already have. We already have IPs and stuff like that from Bethesda that we can leverage and use for other properties. instead of just games. We can use it to make TV shows, movies, and other stuff. And Amazon, right? They want to have their services to be successful because Amazon is in competition with Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all of those, right? So so Amazon is saying, hey, let's leverage this for ourselves, and meanwhile we'll let Xbox and Microsoft put their Xbox Game Pass to our streaming devices. I don't think it's not going to hurt us because we're trying to compete in the movie side of things, right? Even Apple is doing it too, right? I think even Apple failed in terms of like the whole like streaming service thing. They have failed. But this is just one interesting aspect of it. I'm just pointing it out. Like again, we're seeing it right now with the handheld stuff, but it definitely is going to give us a glimpse. But I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of this because this shit is ridiculous, bro. Like, look at this. Look at this. Between the PlayStation, Portal right here, and this is coming out. Like again, like me and my brother Raphael, shout out to you. We had this conversation, and I was trying to explain it to him and say, look, all of these handhelds out here is just handheld. These tablet handhelds, right? They're basically is a flat screen or whatever. What else can you really do, right? And like again, this is just PlayStation just wasted potential. Like if PlayStation has the right track for it. They have the right track. All it is just, again, it's just a lot of people just didn't like the fact that, okay, it's just a tablet and just splitting two controllers and slapping it together. And then when you look at this over here, right, you see like it's ergonomics, but it's more tucked in. It's not like sticking out like this, right? When you see it like this is sticking out. And then when you look at this is tucking in. It has the ergonomics, but it's tucking in. They're putting it together. They're blending it in to make sure that it holds well, it looks good, and it actually looks like a functional, handheld device. It looks functional. You get what I'm saying? And then like this right here was wasted potential. And I'm like, this could have bring in a lot of potential, right? If you move the tablet up more, and then you put this like attached with it, like blend it in with it, and then you put in software that able to let you download games, watch Netflix, and all these other things, like functionally speaking, then they already have a PlayStation portable device that can play games on the go. And this is where I can praise it. If they made it, and I told them, I said, if this right here was a PlayStation, let's say it wasn't an Xbox, I'll be happy with this. This is a handheld that should have been launched back on the PlayStation 5. This should have been the PlayStation handheld. This is what people are most likely keen to want. Not this type of stuff right here where it's like, yeah, it can stream games and that's it. Like you can't watch Netflix. You can't, do this. You can't download games. Like, what the fuck? It's a disappointment. It's like they should be doing better. You see how Xbox right here, first time getting into the handheld market, and already off the bat, they are not making the same mistakes how PlayStation did with all the rest of their mistakes that they have done in the past. Right? The PSP, the Vita, and now the Portal, all of them keep on making the same mistakes, or they're making it even worse. Why? It's just wasting money and wasting resources and material. And on top of that, is wasting fucking manufacturing. This is not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee you, a lot of these PlayStation fans out here much rather have this. If this wasn't an Xbox, this was a PlayStation one, and it was built just like this. Maybe it's a little bit different. Let's say it was a bit different, but it still has that same concept of like, like ergonomic wise. Like it has the same concept like ergonomic wise, but it's a little bit different. I wouldn't be complaining about it. I'll be happy for PlayStation right there, and I'll say that's a W. They actually made a handheld device. They learned from their mistakes, And this device can do more than just, okay, it can, screencast off of your whatever the case may be. You can download games, you can watch Netflix, you can do this, you can browse the web, you can download games off of the PlayStation Store. Like, these are just basic functional features that's been out for many generations now. And you can see this is even worse than the Vita. The Vita has more functionality than the PlayStation Portal. The PlayStation Portal is out in this generation next to the PlayStation 5. What the fuck is going on? You get what I'm saying? Like, that, and that right there is what I'm trying to point out to. Like, connect this together. If they was to make the tablet screen be more connected and have this like spaced out and stuff like that, and push this a little bit closer, this would have been a solid, like a good little side-by-side battle right here. This could have been like, okay, we got two amazing gaming handheld devices. We got PlayStation, we got Xbox. They look great, they sound great, blah blah, they have their differences, but these are two solid devices. I can't even say that. Xbox right now, say as you will, and approach that what they're doing, but they're saving manufacturing costs, and they're just simply saying, look, let's just partner up with somebody that's already existing rather than making it in-house. Okay, and then here's PlayStation saying, we're going to make stuff in-house and this is what we're going to come up with, and you're coming up with garbage like this that is unfunctional, that is not even remotely functional. It's just a shame. It's like, come on, Sony, do better. You got to do better than this. And we already seeing Xbox is entering into the handheld space for the first time. I think even a lot of people were saying, oh, they should do a handheld, right? And now it's the right time to do the handheld because of the hardware, the specifications that we have right here going on, everything what we have going on right now. This is a perfect time to do so. And they're stepping in here, and they're stepping into a big way. And they're doing all the right things and learning from the lessons from other handheld devices and manufacturing, and then putting their own little twist to it and making it more ergonomics. You got to give credit where credit is due. They're fucking doing it. And if this was a handheld in the market, if I was to pick one handheld out of all these handhelds right now currently, let me tell you something. These two would have been like great. They both got ergonomics. But then the next thing was going to be, okay, in terms of value, what I can do. Well, this handheld got Game Pass. I got Xbox. It got Steam. I can download games. I can watch Netflix. I can browse the web. And I can go into the storefronts and buy games. What can I do with this? Okay, I can play games off of my PlayStation 5 console. But I need a PlayStation 5 console to do it. I can't do it without. They didn't even have a storefront at launch. They got nothing. Can't even download games on this shit. You can't even download games off of this shit. You can't even watch Netflix. Basic functionality that you're missing with this shit. It's just a fucking disappointment and a waste of money and manufacturing costs. What the fuck? So if I'm going to pick one, the winner is right here. Xbox. Still winning. I want PlayStation to win, but I'm not going to damage control PlayStation bullshit functionality wise. You can't watch Netflix, you can't download games, and you don't got a fucking storefront. You know? Tell me if I'm lying. Right? Tell me that I'm lying. So now we're going to step into the next generation console. So we know this handheld, that is coming true. That is a fact. It's coming true and it's happening. Right off the bat. We know it's going to have Game Pass. We already know that. We know it's going to play Xbox games. There's no questions about that. I know a lot of these PlayStation fanboys are saying, it doesn't play. Of course it will. What the fuck? If they can play games across all of these fucking devices and including a streaming stick and on a TV and in a browser, come on. Like, man, we all know that it's going to be playable on a fucking handheld. Stop this. So we already know this is going to come true. That's a fact. Now, what about the consoles, though? Now, again, I was saying earlier that I was thinking, like, when I made that video, like, I think of like a couple of months ago, talking about the next generation consoles and talking about the next gen Xbox. But now it seems to me that this right here, and then we seen right here with this little piece of evidence right here, this and this is definitely going to tie in. So most likely this console, from the handheld that we see, we're gonna be more PC like for this. Because again, they're gonna try to make it accessibility across the board, right? You know, you got high-end PC, you got cloud, right? Cloud devices, streaming devices, smart TVs, browsers. So most likely this console is going to definitely be a hybrid console, but going to aim towards more PC like. And if it's going to be built in terms of software, right? Because we already know Microsoft is the king of software. They are software king. They are a software company base. That's what Microsoft's strength is, and they're just playing within their strength. They're not trying to be like somebody else. What they're trying to do is they're just playing within their strength, which is smart, right? So they're gonna play in their strength. They're gonna say, okay, we already have software that is well capable. We can turn this into an actual PC. I mean, even from like last gen, right? And I think I made a video about this when we were talking about the whole price hike situation, right? Which is true, right? Xbox raising their prices, that's a fucking L. And you know, Microsoft saying, hey, these games are now going to be $80, right? That's an L, right? And like again, and even in that video, I told people like, look, you'll be a fool. I will be a fool to just even tell you guys like, oh yeah, Xbox will never get L's in this throughout all this generation. That'd be stupid. Of course they had L's during the course of this generation here and there. Of course. But in terms of what we see right now in general as a whole and what they're doing and what they're building towards, yo, Xbox got this shit in the fucking bag. They got it in the bag. Last gen consoles, you can like again, even I explained it in the video, if you already have an Xbox Series S and X, in terms of backwards compatibility, PlayStation is nowhere near close in terms of backwards compatibility. You cannot put in a PlayStation 1 disc, a PlayStation 2 disc, and the PlayStation 3 disc is useless, and they are still trapped currently on that PlayStation 3. Xbox, on the other hand, if you got an OG Xbox disc way back, the first Xbox console that they put out, you put in those black discs on the Series S console, is going to fucking work. They already have a whole list of backwards compatibility, physical, and they doing it digitally. So if you have an S, they have digital backwards compatibility already there. So if you want to purchase like Crimson Sky from an OG Xbox, you fucking can. They have the license, they make it available, and you can purchase those. What is PlayStation doing? They're not making you cannot take on old play. And again, just a reminder, both PlayStation and Xbox are literally in this console generation, they are basically both of the same. They both have AMD architecture. They both are. So we already know that they are well capable. PlayStation is well capable of making backwards compatibility happen, but they're choosing not to. You cannot put a physical PlayStation 1 disc in a PlayStation 5. We should be able to do it, but they're not doing it. But yet, Xbox over here, you got a Series X, you got the drive, you want to take your old Xbox disc, like Morrowind, whatever, like again, you can take, I'm just throwing this as an example, one of the games, right? Where was it? Let me go. There it is. I'll give it an example. Like this game right here. What was it? Right here. So right here, if you got the OG Xbox of Morrowind, right? The OG Xbox version of it, of Morrowind, you can literally take that disc and put that shit in this console right here and play this shit. You can do that. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with PlayStation in terms of backwards compatibility, but it is pale in comparison to Xbox. And on top of that, let's say that the backwards compatibility list, let's say, is not even available on both of these consoles, right? Let's say you have the physical, but you got the S version, but then you're like, well, how can I still get access to Morrowind, even though I got the Series S version of it, right? So you could purchase it digitally, which you can, but there's another thing too. That let's say both of those lists, right? The list of like the backwards compatibility lists that are available for Xbox, they made a list. And let's say one of those games is not available. You know, you can still take this console and turn it to dev mode and put RetroArch, and you can download all those emulator games and put that shit on your console right now. You can do that shit right now, and all you have to do is pay $20. I talked about this about two weeks ago, talking about, you know, with the whole, you know, price hike with Xbox and stuff. I talked about this, that where if you already have these consoles, you can still keep them because they still worth way more than what PlayStation is doing. In terms of like adding in emulation, you can even play emulation games from Nintendo. You can play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games on both of these consoles. These current gen consoles, bro, you got there's stuff there that you can do with that console more than you can even do or wish you can do on that PlayStation 5 console. And that PlayStation 5 console is supposedly the most powerful, whatever. Even you got the Pro that costs $700, but yet you're spending $700. You can't even have backwards compatibility with a disc, and you can't even download any emulation and shit. But Xbox is allowing you to do that, and you can do it, and it's for free. All you have to do is just pay $20, and getting the ROMs and everything is for fucking free. You got it for life. And then when you're done with dev mode, you can switch it back to your console, and all your games is still installed. So all your Call of Duty games, your Starfield, Avowed, whatever game that you have installed, it still will be there, installed, nothing missed, nothing got taken away, nothing. And you can go continue on playing on Game Pass, playing all the latest games. And if you want to go back to some retro games, you can switch the console right back to dev mode and continue playing your little retro games. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, what are we doing? You know? And this is where I'm saying, like, we're stepping into next generation console here. And we can see it right here. Like, look, opening a billion doors with Xbox. Look at this. Tablet, phone, this, handheld. Look at this. The handheld, consoles, TV. And more importantly, they got Steam. And then we're hearing it right here. You can see the title right here. Microsoft is rumored to be testing Steam integration within the Microsoft Store. And potentially going to be the next gen. Yes, absolutely. And they first going to start where? And you can start to see the pieces are starting to fall together. You're starting to see the pieces are starting to come together. That now we're seeing all of this starts to happen. Now we're seeing this. Handheld is going to be the first step of the first test. That's where they're going to start with first. They're going to get that going, tweak all the stuff that they need to tweak up, and fix whatever they need to fix to get themselves ready for that console. And I think this is a smart approach. They're going to start with a smaller, simpler device, and then when they go into next gen consoles, they're going to be more prepared and ready for the bigger prize. Because remember, in all those previous console generations, they didn't really have a simpler, easier device to test bed some of the stuff. So they figure like, hey, this is a good opportunity for us as Xbox that we're going to do handheld, and we're going to partner up with Asus, but we can also bring over and integrate our own stuff with it, bring in our own unique, twist to it, and have it out in the public so that people can enjoy it and play it. And then when we get feedback and other things, and then we'll tweak it and get it ready for next generation consoles. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And this is why I'm telling you, they're getting themselves prepared for those things. Which is Microsoft rumor, yes. And we can see this happening because this was happening like a couple of days ago with this marketing, right? This is an Xbox, that's an Xbox. We see a handheld right here, and then we also see it on TV as well. So we can see the capability that this can connect to the TV, right? The handheld. So that could be a feature right there where this could be like Google Cast, like how they screencast it. Now maybe that this device, it is capable of screencasting this on a TV, screencasting it on the TV, and then they're gonna probably have this feature right in there with Steam to build right in, and they're gonna make it more PC-like, right? They're gonna make it more PC-like console, right? So we can, right, for this. And just to mention that and why this is true. Now, this, I'm not gonna play this, but just to show the example that even in the Microsoft keynote, right? The interesting thing about this is the fact that they are going open source Copilot extensions for VS Code. So now you're starting to see that they're going to take their Copilot, right? And they're going to make it more open source, and they're going to put it on GitHub. So they are literally cracking open, things that they have worked on and did. They're going to open it up to the masses. So like indie developers or devs out there that are smaller studio that may not have the money or the budget into certain things, now they're going to have stuff like this where they can just say, hey, I want to use Copilot, and they can make it to something else. They can tweak it, change stuff around, make it into something to whether or not. And who knows, and it can be beneficial for gaming in the future, right? But you can see that Microsoft is definitely laying down the foundation and letting people know, like, hey, we're going to open up our stuff a bit more, because you can see right here that they do have GitHub. GitHub is a platform that is open source for a lot of people. So if you wanted to tinker around with something, you want to make something, you want to add whatever, and like, again, even like OBS that I'm recording this is open source and is being updated, this and that, adding in features, fixing stuff, all of this stuff, and it's open source, and it's still being developed, and people are still making like plugins and extensions, and you can see why that Microsoft is trying to crack open and get people on board. You know what I'm saying? Open source Copilot extension for VS Code, which is good because that's the coding thing. So when they gotta code and do stuff on Windows and stuff like that, now they make Copilot open source so that people can mess around, tweak it, tinker around with it, add stuff, do stuff with it. So they can do a whole crazy stuff. Who knows? It might can go into gaming. Might help a indie developer in terms of whatever that they're doing. Or let's say maybe in the future, let's say if it does get to the point where it's really good, maybe we don't even have to wait for patches or updates for months and months and months. Those patches and updates might come very quick. Very, very quick. Might be just in like, oh, yeah, we have a problem. Yeah, we got this. Copilot looked at this. We highlight the code. Blah, blah, blah. We put out a fix. We're testing it. Okay, it should be out by like the next week and a half. It'll be out. It'll be out with a patch to fix this, which is good. And it's not going to waste a lot of time where, we have to see those roadmaps or patch updates. We're seeing that it takes like either a month, 2, 3, 4 months just to see another update, another patch, or another this. This is something that where they're cracking open the stuff, and they're giving it out to people out there that they can use it and use it to whatever their heart's desire or whatever they want to do, which is good. Because we're starting to see that they're cracking open for the next gen Xbox and making it more PC-like. We're seeing Microsoft is doing some of their stuff and say, hey, we got some stuff, but we're going to crack it open and have other developers and people want to tinker around with it and doing that. And we're making our source code available on GitHub. So we'll put it on there and you can have at it. You can do whatever you want with our Copilot. So we're starting to see those things right there. And on top of that, too, that again, the next gen console is going to be entering in its final form. And it could be a game changer as we know it. Definitely. In terms of, like, again, they're working hard with backwards compatibility with it. Like we're seeing it right here. They just dropped this in May. They're putting retro classics. So like Activision games and stuff like that. And who knows? And they're going to be more to come. More updates going to be available for that. More retro games could be also be adding into that retro classic. I'm telling you, man, Microsoft and Xbox are literally teaming up and they're working extremely hard to get this next gen console on the right track. We're seeing it. Like, it's right here. Look at it. Backwards compatibility going on. They're making sure that's ready. Handhelds that they're working on, right? This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And making these deals. So we starting to see that the future is definitely looking a lot brighter. A lot of people were saying that, oh, they're not going to have backwards compatibility. They already have backwards compatibility. They already had it. Go back up here. From like last gen, this gen that we're in right now currently, they already have backwards compatibility and you can pay digital games already. And they're going to be working extremely hard to make sure that that is going to continue forward to the next gen consoles. They're going to continue on forward. That's definitely is a fact. I mean, because let's be real here. I mean, seeing how it's going to be a game changer in terms of backwards compatibility and stuff like that, announcing retro classics from Activision games and stuff like that, like old school games from the 80s and 90s, that's available. You can imagine that they're going to be adding more into the future. It's not going to be a one and done thing. They're going to keep on adding more and more. Look at how much space it is. They're going to add more and more and more. They're going to add more. This ain't going to stop. And again, this is available in acts. Like again, go back up here. You can see sustainability and accessibility. And this is going to be accessed across on every piece of device. And not just on one console or just a handheld. It's going to be available across on all of these platforms that they have. They have available, ready to go. If you got Xbox, Game Pass, it's going to be available across all of these platforms. I wouldn't be surprised that later on down the road, they can make this a standalone app. Say, hey, you don't, if you don't like some of the new games, we got retro classics. So if you like old games back in the day and you want to play these, and if you want to still continue buying them, who knows? That can happen too. They can say, hey, you want to buy these games again? We can charge you for that. It's only probably a couple bucks. But if you want to play them for free, you can play it, whatever, with a subscription service. Or if you want to go buy them, I wouldn't be surprised that they make it available to people that they can buy it. But again, like, I wouldn't be surprised later on. This could be a standalone app. It's already in Game Pass right now, right? Which to me, it's kind of silly, but then again, I understand why they're doing this. I understand why they're doing this like this, because they probably are just testing and making sure with like how it starts up and all this stuff. They want to make sure this is like well thought out and tested, but don't be surprised when they take this out, or they're going to keep this in here, or they're going to have it a standalone for retro classics. Don't be surprised that, oh yeah, Xbox has another app right here. It's called Retro Classics. So if you want to just play classic games, here's an app for it. If you don't want it in Game Pass, you can still play these games and that. And I'm pretty sure this is going to continue to grow. Again, this is probably in the alpha stage, and they're just testing the water, getting feedback, making sure they tweak up whatever they need to tweak, and then they're going to build upon it and fix all those things. So again, it is happening. This is happening, which is crazy. So they're going to have retro classics, backwards compatibility, digitally. I don't know if they're going to have a physical media. I'm not sure about that. I don't think so. According to what we see down here, right? They don't have no like physical drive. It's all digital. So, but in terms of like, again, they are working extremely hard for backwards compatibility. It seems like they're hard at work on backwards compatibility for the next Xbox console. Yeah, because they did it for last gen, they're gonna continue forward for this gen. I'm telling you. And then you can see right now, man, the overall, the success, what's going on, bro. It's just growing. And Microsoft, you can see right here that Microsoft Xbox is now the biggest publisher on PlayStation as PC Game Pass hits 45% year-over-year growth. So that means Game Pass is growing, is going up, and they're the biggest publisher on there. And they're not lying. They are not lying, because you know why? Because every time when you go on here on the PlayStation storefront, what do we see? A lot of Xbox games. Say as you will about Call of Duty, but Xbox is getting that money. Xbox is getting that money every single month, every single fucking week. They're getting money from Call of Duty. Xbox owns that now. So you got one Xbox, you got 2 Forza Horizon 5, you got 3 Doom the Dark Ages. This is a promoted game from Xbox. That's promoted. They don't own the devs or the IP. But they did promote Expedition 33. Right? Giving credit where credit is due. Minecraft, that's an Xbox. And then down here you got Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster. That's 5. And this is literally on the first page. This is on the first page on what? The best selling. First page best selling. I can only imagine download wise. The most download. Look at this. Most download. Xbox. That's Bungie, but I don't even know when Bungie. That Sony owns Bungie, so they got the Destiny one, but who knows how that's gonna be around because of Marathon fiasco. But you got 1, 2 Xbox games. Look at this, another Xbox game, Doom Eternal, the most downloaded. That's crazy. Doom the Dark Ages, right here, another Xbox game. So they literally got 1, 2, 3. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this, Fallout 4, 5. And this is on PlayStation. They literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Xbox games on the most downloaded. Where's PlayStation at? You can say you want to count this as one. Okay, that's one. One PlayStation game. And that's it. All the rest is third party. So you got Xbox got 5 games that are the most downloaded, and PlayStation only has one, which is Destiny. They don't even have MLB to show on it. That's crazy. That's crazy. But you can see the evidence is here. So this right here, this article ain't fucking lying. Nope. They're growing year over year. And then, like, again, we're going back. We're starting to see those pieces are starting to come together. This is why they're pretty much saying, like, look, the roadmap to 2030 looking real bright. Making a boatload of money. Can't really argue with that. And the games, can't really argue with that. It's crazy. And you know what the other crazy part is about this? You know, when we're talking about next gen handhelds, consoles, they're working on that. That's going to be ready. I think it's going to be out in like 2026 or 2027 at the latest. I know the handheld is definitely going to go first this year. That's for sure. And it's going to give us a glimpse of the next generation consoles, what it's going to be about. And we're seeing them putting games on all platforms. But the funniest thing is the fact that the FTC, you know, dropped the case against Microsoft and the Activision Blizzard deal, which was a waste of taxpayer dollars and money. It definitely was a waste of money and taxpayer money. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But that was a waste of money. Waste of time. For real. It really was. But I just wanted to point this out. That the FTC dropped the case against Microsoft and Activision Blizzard deal. So that's over with. That's done. So basically, Microsoft won. PlayStation lost. And the FTC lost. So both of them lost. Microsoft and Xbox are the winners. They won it. So basically, we can all sit here and say that basically what I've been saying before, that now that this game right here, Call of Duty, is 110% is owned by Microsoft and Xbox. They own the rights. They have the rights for this. So we can, you know, whatever. And they're making money off of your own platform, which we already see right here, which we already see in the PlayStation Store. It's true, right? So they dropped it. That was a failed, and I know they tried to do a second attempt to appeal, and that failed. Oh my god, it was such an embarrassment. I can remember. I forgot the lady who was in charge of the FTC, but I think like the aftermath or whatever, and I guess like everyone had a round whatever discussion. I think they grilled the fuck out of her, like that. They grilled her so bad. Oh my god. Woo. She probably got fucking. I think she got either fired or resigned after that fucking debacle from this FTC case, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they probably said, "Nah, we're gonna kick them, kick them out because they don't know what the hell they're doing." But what makes it even more interesting, that the fact that when we're starting to see this starting to come to fruition here, that once that FTC case dropped, right, from the Activision and Blizzard and Microsoft deal, then we're starting to see that, Sega Space Marine 2 Mastercraft Edition is available on what platform? Steam, Epic, Xbox Series S and X console, and it's also day one. It's going to be coming towards here, because I already know it's going to be coming towards day one, because even I see it. It'll be right here, because I'm pretty sure they have marketed this, because they want to let people know, like, oh yeah, this game, yeah, definitely coming out. Thought I seen that. coming soon to Game Pass. Yep, right here. Look. Look at this. Look at all of these great games coming out. I can't believe this is coming out. I almost wanted to purchase this one, but since it's coming to Game Pass, good. I'm gonna play it, and if I like it, I'm gonna purchase this one. So you got all of these games are coming out, and look what we got here. Uh-oh. Warhammer in 14 days. 14 days in the next 2 weeks. And the June showcase is coming out on the 8th. 8, 9, 10. So like 2 more days after that, you're gonna Xbox is just eating good, man. Xbox is literally got all their sticky little fingers in this console. They got every bit of thing they are in control right now. Xbox and Microsoft are the market leaders in terms of the gaming platform. They are the market leaders right now. They got every piece of finger. Oh my god, they're in control. They're just ripping it. Woo! That's crazy. And then what you notice, and if you notice, right? Look at this. This box is empty. No PlayStation. And these PlayStation fanboys was crying so bad and couldn't believe it. And you know what it is? This is just a message. This really is a message to PlayStation. And it's funny is they're putting Gears of War Reloaded, and this is coming out in August. Yeah, this is coming out in August. And this one, they said, Xbox probably working with Sega. Xbox told Sega, hey, we'll give you the bag. We're gonna put our game over there first on the PlayStation, and then later on, then you can put it on PlayStation. Let us get some money off of Microsoft and all the fan base over there with this Gears of War Reloaded, and then you can put your game after that. They figured, why not? I mean, look, they're making money off of like already Space Marine 2 already, so they just say fuck it. If Xbox and Microsoft are gonna drop the bag for Sega, Sega's like, okay, that's fine. We'll take this little box out of here. Bonk. And we already know this box right here should have been PlayStation. We already know it should have been PlayStation. That's crazy. But this is a message. This is definitely sending a message. But I already know what their strategy is. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, let's go into the PlayStation side of things. And how PlayStation is not doing so well. They're not doing good. It's sad. Like, look, I said this many times. Look, I want PlayStation to succeed. I want them to make money. I want them to drop games. I want them to diverse their business and their strategy. Because it seems like their business's strategy are failing. And you know why? Because we can actually look at this right here. Remember this? This was from the Insomniac leak with the, what's been going on, right? With the whole leak with the Insomniac, they got hacked and stuff like that, and all this data. They got some slides right here, right? And you can see right here the industry shift, the leapfrog. Microsoft's Activision in a position to leapfrog in our current pillars. Yeah, you mean your old, outdated pillars, right? Which we starting to see here because we go back up here. Yep. We starting to see it. Look. Oh yeah. It's happening. The pieces are starting to fall together. So yeah, they are well prepared to leapfrog fucking PlayStation. I thought PlayStation was the market leader. I thought they don't have no threats. They're not worried about it. And you see, Microsoft and Xbox ain't worried about fucking PlayStation. They're literally just running in circles, putting games over there, and guess what they're doing? They're taking away games too. They're just saying, yeah, after this little FTC case drop, yeah, you think you think we're wholesome? No, we're just here to make money off of your dumbass. And we can money hack the same bullshit what PlayStation been doing for years. And this is one of those clear messages. They're saying, yeah, no, we're going to put our game on your PlayStation platform because we already know that is going to be making our way onto the top chart. So we're going to put it on the bestseller list, right? And you can see it right here. Just a reminder for a lot of people. Just a reminder. Okay? The biggest publisher on the PlayStation platform. And Game Pass hitting 45% year-over-year growth. Yeah, the growth that Microsoft is doing is money hatting, Space Marine, this. They're saying, oh, you did that to us for years, so let's just do it back to you and see how you like it. Well, it seems like those PlayStation fucking fanboys clearly do not like it. I'm like, no. You should like this. You should like this. Because like you said, oh, Xbox needs exclusive, right? You want to compete? Oh, but when PlayStation do it, it's okay. But when it's Xbox doing it, it's not okay, right? Now, again, I don't mind Xbox putting games across on all platforms. But for this right here, they don't want to put Space Marine Mastercraft Edition on PlayStation. I can care less because it ain't my fucking problem. They're running the show. I'm eating good. I'm eating good. I don't care. It's not my fucking problem. It's not my fucking problem because you know why it's not my problem? Because guess what? PlayStation been doing it for fucking years. They've been doing that shit for quite some times. This ain't fucking new. This ain't the first time nor the last time. And look at me. I'm over here. Got Game Pass on PC. I'm eating good. I'm eating good. I got all these great fucking games that are coming out. This game is coming out. This one's coming out. All of these great games. I'm eating good. Game Pass, for me, I'm eating good. I got all of these great games. Every game right here. You see all the games that I've downloaded? I'm eating good. I got no issues, no problems. I'm eating good over here. I don't need a PlayStation fucking 5. Why would I go to a PlayStation 5 for? Why? Why should I? And you see it over here, what they're doing. Look. Because we already know that when this game is going to go over there onto the PlayStation platform, guess where the chart is going to be? We already know. Gears of War is going to be right up here on the top charts. It's going to be hovering right over here in these top charts. 100%. 110%. So they're just letting you know. As a warning, they're just basically letting all these fucking delusional fanboys out there, especially the PlayStation ones, they're just letting you know that, yeah, FTC dropped their case, so we're gonna be out here. We got the bag anyway. They are a $3 trillion company. You don't think that we're not going to do any of these money hatting things? You think this is a fucking charity? No, this is basically as a fucking warning and just letting you know that, yeah, we can drop games on your platform, but we can also take away games off of the PlayStation platform as well. We can do the exact same thing. And guess what? They're doing it right now, right before your eyes. Because you already know this box right here should have been what? PlayStation 5 and PS5 Pro Enhance. And it's not even here on this box. And it's going to be available in 14 days on where? Game Pass. And that's literally June 10th. That's 2 more days after the Xbox showcase. You see how this shit works? You see, when you start to see things starts to tie in together and the pieces is starting to fall together now. That Microsoft and Xbox are fucking dominating while PlayStation is getting their fucking ass kicked and whoop. They're getting their ass kicked. They are getting their ass kicked. For sure. 110% they're getting their ass kicked. Okay? So we can go right here and we can see all the threats in the industry shift. Look at this. Call of Duty threatens in 2027. And we heard rumors about that too. About the next Call of Duty game, what it's going to be. It's going to be Modern Warfare 4. So it's going to be interesting. We don't know whether it's going to be wall riding, jetpacks. I don't know. but it's gonna be something. But you can see Call of Duty is a threat now. Yeah, because guess what? The FTC already dropped their case. So basically now Call of Duty is officially owned 110% by Microsoft and Xbox. They got control of Call of Duty. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And they're making money because guess what? They're on the top charts. They're on number 3. I don't see a PlayStation game on here. I see a lot of Xbox games on here than I do PlayStation title games. Hell, I think not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, I see Helldivers made it onto this list, and guess where it's at? It fell down. Probably fell down onto the second page. You would think, you would hope. I don't even think so. Nope. Nope. Helldivers is not even on the second page. Nope. Before it used to be on this page right here. Now that shit got knocked the fuck down. Yep. But look at all the Xbox games remaining on top. Call of Duty, Forza Horizon 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is on number 7. And like again, I'm not making it up. You can refresh the page right now. And look, it is still on number 7. Right, and that's right behind Grand Theft Auto 5. That's on number 8. Yeah. These core pillars ain't fucking working, Sony. Look at this right here. Day and date threats. Yeah. And we see it right now because you see this? You see how I'm pointing it out and we're putting all the pieces together. Oh, Game Pass is not a threat. They're not a threat. Well, it seems like Sony and PlayStation is seeing that this is a fucking threat. And guess what? It is a fucking threat because guess what? Everyone was like, what the fuck? Why is this box doesn't even say PlayStation 5 and Pro Enhance? This should be on PlayStation 5, but it's not. But it's not because you know why? It's going to where? It's going to Game Pass. June 10th, 2025. Day 1, day and date. So you can buy this game or you can play it on Game Pass day and date. And it's going to still be available on the PC and on Epic Game Store, but not on PlayStation. Xbox, PC, Game Pass, but not on PlayStation. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a threat. And it's gonna get even worse. Because it, like again, if you think that right here, what Xbox and Sega got something going on, everybody was laughing. Everybody was laughing, joking around, saying, haha, you know, Xbox is like Sega. They're going away. They're going this. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're whatever. Yeah, they're going away, all right. They're going away. Roadmap 2023. This is where we at now. This is where they're going to be in the future. This is confirmed. Handheld. They know they're working on the next gen console. That is confirmed. And it's going to be PC-like. The evidence is here. The evidence is all right here. Yeah. And they're like, oh, they're going to go away like Sega and all this shit. And look at them. Microsoft and Xbox working with Sega. Sega don't give a fuck. Sega is making money off of Space Marine too already. They already made their money. And look at this. They're working together. They are working together. They don't give a fuck. They say, man, oh, they're doing it. They don't care. Because like again, if you're thinking that this right here, this day and date, this is gonna be, and if you think this is not going, it's gonna be one of many. It's gonna be many more of this. Ever since that FTC case dropped, be expecting is going to be more of this. More of like, oh yeah, you could put this game over there, Oh, but this game right here, hey, don't put it on PlayStation. Put it in our platforms. We'll let you put it across on all of these 3 platforms, except for PlayStation. Take this game away. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you know that's smart, because you know why? Because this is why they're doing this. You want to know this? You want to know the reasons why that they're doing this, right? They're doing this is because that if you look at this right here, right, it's coming out in August 26th. And I said this in my last video, that supposedly Marathon might get pushed back or delayed. But currently right now, what we know in the time of this recording, I wouldn't be surprised if it got pushed back or delayed. But at the time of this recording, it's going to be coming out in September for Marathon. They're putting the price under $30, which you know damn well that this game, they could easily charge this for $60 on PlayStation. Easily. They're charging it for $30 because of Marathon's bullshit. Going to undercut them. And they're going to put it out in August. So Microsoft and Xbox says, hey, let's go make a deal with Sega. We'll let them know, like, hey, put it on all these 3 platforms and we'll help you fund the game and stuff like that. And put it on Game Pass. Except for it'll be a time exclusive. So don't put it on PlayStation this coming year. Put it in our platform this year, because guess what? Gears of War E-Day is not going to come out this year. It's going to come out for next year. That makes sense. Because, again, Gears of War E-Day is not going to come out this year. It's going to come out next year. So, basically, they're just prepared. They're just basically doing like this. They're going to put Gears of War Reloaded and make money off of PlayStation. Sega says, okay, we're not going to capitalize on this. We're just going to put it on over there on Xbox. Let them have their fun. And then once that little party is over, because we already know Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be dropping where? In 2026. So, Sega is, you know, and I guess they must have talked, and this might be a good plan. Think about it. Think about it. They put the game over there because they don't have Gears of War E-Day until next year. Xbox is going to make that money right now off of the PlayStation with Gears of War Reloaded. And then by the following year, they probably might put it in for next year, or they might save it for this to be released in 2027. Because that's when GTA 6 during 2026 of that year going to be over. The next year going to be 2027. Then Sega said, hey, we're going to be dropping Space Marine 2 on the PlayStation, you know, or the next PlayStation, whatever. Put the Recraft, whatever edition. We'll put it on there. And I think that's smart. You know, that's really is smart. That's really is smart. Microsoft is going to take the lead. Sega is going to be a little bit behind. But they already going to make their money anyway. They already got more than one project of Warhammer 40K. So this is not their lifeline. It's not like their lifeline. Their life depends on it. Space Marine 2 did incredibly well. They sat there and said, okay, we can just put it on all platforms and put this on the Xbox. They gave us the bag to finish it up or whatever that we need to do, make it exclusive. We just can't put it over there on PlayStation. And we'll probably put it maybe like 2 years down the road. Then we'll put it on PlayStation for whatever. It's definitely going to be a time exclusive. And this is going to be one of many. One of many. So this right here with this day and date threat is definitely a threat. Leapfrog. Yep, they're going to leapfrog all of their stuff. Yep. This is crazy. Perfect. Yep. We're starting to see everything that are a major threat that PlayStation, Sony is. And then what are they trying to do to rectify it? Well, they're not doing so hot. They're not doing good. It's just like sometimes you're sitting here and you're like, I want PlayStation to succeed. I want them to make money. I want them to do well. I want them to compete in this type of market that Xbox is playing, because they're playing by their own games. They're playing by their own rules. They're not playing this whole little song and dance what Sony been doing for years. Right? And now you're starting to see this right here. PlayStation Stars is coming to a close as SIE eventually new ways to reevaluate the future loyalty program effort. They're basically closing out PlayStation Stars, and then meanwhile, look at this. Xbox with Game Pass. You know, watch. You can see all the benefits right here. Look at all the benefits. Join Ultimate. Do this. And I think they also have whatever. I think like how would you say it? I think they also have like gifts and stuff like that you could earn. There's like a bunch of stuff. Like you could earn or unlock stuff, you know, like perks and stuff. So there's reward stuff in here that you already have. I don't know where it is on the tab. I don't know if they took it out or they put it whatever, but they already have Xbox already have a program like that. And then PlayStation Stars is coming to a close. 5 points redeem until November 2026. So you still got a year to go. And it's sad. Let's hear our favorite Astrobot, their little mascot. Of course, who didn't see that coming? PlayStation are learning what makes their players somewhat loyal to their platform just to take it away from them. Thanks for making the departure from PlayStation easier with every decision. Yep. It's just gonna make it more easier for a lot of these PlayStation fans to move over to the PC platform, right? Like again, we're seeing it right here. Microsoft is the biggest publisher on the PlayStation platform as PC Game Pass hits 45% year-over-year growth. And it's gonna continue growing. And we already seen that you see it, right? Look, it's growing. See how PC is gonna grow. This is gonna grow too. Oh yeah, it's happening. It's happening now. I don't know what the fuck are they doing, but this is PlayStation for you. But they want, you know, player engagement. They want numbers and all this stuff. They want all that. Look. I said I was talking about this in the last video that I made, but I want to bring this up again. Like again, even Helldivers 2, that Sony, you know, pays money to have it exclusive on their platform and have it to release on the PC, right? And like again, Helldivers 2 was supposedly be successful. You know, right? If it's a successful and everything else, okay, you should be hearing or seeing or maybe hearing about, oh yeah, Helldivers 3, can't wait for that, right? From Arrowhead, you know, people want to play these games, right? Helldivers 2 is not a bad game, and they didn't put it onto the Xbox platform, which that's perfectly okay. I'm fine with that. I'm eating good. I got games over there. I'm not sweating about Helldivers 2. I'm on PC and I can purchase Helldivers. And it was supposedly successful. That's their live service game. They want player engagement. But then when you look at the dev sides of things, when you start seeing the devs that are basically saying, yeah, our next game is going to be 100% funded for ourselves. Okay? No hard feelings though. But we're not going to be dealing with the Sony boneheaded PSN shenanigans. Which you know that they basically blocking 170 countries. 170 countries that are being blocked from playing Helldivers 2 on PC. And the studio heads, Arrowhead says, no, I'm not making Helldivers 3 anytime soon. And then these are the same people that are telling me that I should go out there to get a PlayStation 5 or trying to convince other motherfuckers to get a PlayStation 5. If you show this video, and I'm going to tell you this shit right now, this right here does not convince me to go get a PlayStation 5. So I'm going to be playing Helldivers 2, and then once that support is fucking done, we're heading into next generation console, which is 3 years away at the time of this fucking recording. And you're going to tell me, oh yeah, when is Helldivers 3 going to happen? It's not going to fucking happen. And they're going to go multi-platform. You see what they're doing. This is not hard to understand. They are going multi-platform because they want to earn fucking money, and they don't want their game to be restricted over 170 countries. That's money right there being left on the table. This could have been put into programs like, oh, I don't know, like that cancel star shit. This could have been that extra bit of money that PlayStation could have had and put into their star program to make it better for customers to be loyal and whatever. And we already see all these people are very disappointed and sad. And look, and look, PlayStation favorite mascot, Astrobot. And look at what he's saying right here. Yep, this is the bullshit. But then when you go with Xbox, what they're doing is like, look, they're putting Hellblade 2 coming into PlayStation 5 with new features. Personally, for me, this doesn't hurt me. Because you know why? Because guess what? Most likely, we're going to get another Hellblade game. That's the difference. We're going to get another Hellblade game, right? All of these games that are being ported over to the PlayStation 5 console, it doesn't hurt me. Because you know why? That extra money is going to be, guess what? They're going to make another Call of Duty game. Who's doing it? That's Xbox. Okay, Forza Horizon 5 is on the PlayStation 5 platform right now. Who owns it? Oh yeah, that's Microsoft and Xbox. And we're going to see another Forza Horizon game, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get another game for it. We're going to get another Doom game, right? Doom the Dark Ages, right? We're going to get another game of Doom. Yeah. We're going to get another game. This Minecraft is still going to be supported, right? It ain't going to get shut down, right? No. Yeah, Minecraft is still going to be supported. They made a movie. They made a Minecraft fucking movie. They made money. And Minecraft is still being supported. Are we going to get another Elder Scroll game from Bethesda and Todd Howard? Yes. He said it in the video multiple times. We have seen the trailer from like what, 2018, 2017 of Elder Scrolls 6. So it's still happening. They got money. They already have money. They are going to make another Elder Scroll game. That is still in the pipeline. That hasn't changed. This game, this remake remaster, just basically giving them more funding and more money for their next Elder Scroll game that they're making. You know, and then this is where I'm pointing it out. They're not gonna make a Helldivers fucking 3 anytime soon. You think, oh yeah, Arrowhead is gonna drop Helldivers 3 on PlayStation 6? When is that? When is that? Is that gonna be towards the tail end of the console, or that's gonna be never? We can only guess and speculate, but I promise you, I'm not holding my breath into like, oh yeah, they're gonna make another Helldivers game. If they was, then guess what? They wouldn't be saying shit like this. And they wouldn't be saying, oh yeah, it's going to be 100% funded ourselves. Yeah, no hard feelings about Sony, but their boneheaded PSN shenanigans, which obviously fucked up their reputation, which it has. It damaged, like Arrowhead's reputation and fans, it has been damaged by the fan base. They're not fucking happy with it. And they lost players, they lost customers. That's why they're making an article like this to let the fans know, like, hey, I totally understand that you was frustrated with PlayStation and their fucking parity clause. Knowing that PlayStation needs fucking player engagement numbers, they need it. But again, PlayStation don't own Arrowhead. And Arrowhead can make the decision of, if we're going to make a Helldivers 3, we're not making it anytime soon. Our next game is going to be multi-platform, and we're not taking the Sony deal. If Sony comes knocking in our doorstep saying, hey, can you make a Helldivers 3 for us? They're going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm too busy. I don't, I'm good. Now you looking and opening up your fucking eyeballs now? Now you start to understand? Now you start to get the understanding. Because you wouldn't see fucking articles like this. And then we go back to Helldivers. I mean, we go back to Hellblade. That's going to be releasing on the PlayStation 5. We're going to see another Hellblade at some point. Because they're going to make more money and get more funding. But then look. Here's PlayStation over here with Stellar Blade PC release. Not that far away. It's going to be releasing soon. And guess what? So are we going to see another Hellblade 2 anytime soon? No. Because even they even said themselves that their next game is going to be 100% funded. And we're not making another Hellblade 2. We're going to make a different game. And we're not taking the Sony fucking deal. Right? Supposedly, like, again, we know this game was supposedly successful. And the Arrowhead Studio saying... And then now you're seeing this over here. And they're fucking shocked and surprised. They're like, why is our game as being blocked over 120 countries? This should be easy for everyone. Everyone should be able to play this game on the PC. Why are we being hindered by Sony's PlayStation parity clause? And then when they find out and they said, oh, okay, well, next time, then we're going to make a whole new game, but we're going to fund our own game this time. We're not taking the Sony deal. But again, look at what Xbox is doing, right? Look at what Xbox is doing, right? Let's go right here. Expedition 33. Xbox cut the check. They gave it to them. They saw potential. And they said, hey, just put it on Game Pass. We'll give you the check. And we'll let you release it across on all platforms. I promise you, I'm going to tell you this shit right now. I wouldn't be surprised later on in the next couple of years that Expedition 33 will be releasing on the Nintendo Switch 2. Mark my words. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. They can honestly probably will release this game on the Nintendo Switch 2. Most likely it will. And look, they made their money and then some, and is on the PlayStation Store. And guess where it is on the chart? It's not being hindered, right? It's like Expedition 33 is not being blocked by 120 fucking countries, right? Not 170 countries, right? On the PC platform. It's not being blocked. So everybody is able to pick up the game and buy it and play it. And it's right here. It's on the chart. It's on the PlayStation 5 chart. It's sitting right here. Right? Again, like, look, I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. It's fucking true. It's fucking true. Right? Expedition 33 is being sold across everything. You got Doom, this. Look at this. Elden Ring, Night Rain. And that's another good point too. Because it's not being blocked on here on Steam. So it's making money, it's making sales. Expedition 33. And you know that is funny too. When I just bring up Elden Ring, now you're going to start to understand why the people from FromSoft is not doing anything with fucking Bloodborne. Now it starts to make sense. You know, you can say as you will about like Herman Host or is this or that. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, they probably wanted to do something with Bloodborne, and why they're not doing a remaster and shit is because of fucking Sony fucking shenanigans and their parity clause. If they was to do it right, and they said, okay, we'll do it, but we want to release it on the PC as well, right? But if they do that, right, if Sony has the rights for Bloodborne, and From Software wanted to do a remake and remaster, and they want to put it onto more platforms, right? Or let's say they want to just put it on the PC, right? I guarantee you they can't do it because guess what? It's going to be blocked by 120 fucking countries. And you know From Software is about what? It's about making fucking money. From Software is about making money. All of these companies and the developers is about making money. So if Sony has this game parity clause, and if they do want to put it on PC, not everybody's going to get to play it, because you know why? Because guess what? Look at Stellar Blade, only sold 1 million copies, and it's now on the PlayStation 5 platform, and they say, okay, we want to put it on PC to make more money. They're not going to make more money because it's being blocked by 120 fucking countries. So imagine From Software, a big giant conglomerate publisher, says like, okay, we want to put our game onto this platform. They can't fucking do it because it's going to be blocked. And you talking about they want player numbers and player engagement, and this is why you can't get a PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 got parity clause on these games, and they're not, and the developers are not being successful enough. That's why you see what? You see all these people are saying, no, we're gonna fund our own games. Stellar Blade, the Shift Up studio is gonna do the same, and so on and so forth. Now it starts to make sense that why From Software is not doing a Bloodborne remake or a remaster. They're not doing it because, again, their sales was fucking low, and they want to make money. They want to have more potential. So they say, okay, if we're gonna do this, we want it to be on PC, but they can't because it's gonna be blocked. But then yet, with Xbox and stuff, in terms of Expedition 33 being sold, right? Expedition 33 across all platforms on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and is on Game Pass. It is doing better numbers, better stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised it's going to be landing on the Nintendo Switch 2 sometime in the future. And I think this is why Bloodborne, From Software, is probably doing an exclusive with Nintendo, because Nintendo don't have parity clause. They probably From Software read the contract, and they let Nintendo know, like, hey, this is a time exclusive. So once this is done, can I put this game across on PC without no parity clause? And Nintendo says, yes, you can do that. That is fine. Okay, then they probably made the deal. Or they said, like, look, if we can't do a whatever, we'll make an exclusive game, a Souls-like game on the Nintendo Switch 2. But again, just note to self, don't come asking for us saying, oh yeah, can you do another sequel? Because most likely they may not do another sequel. Unless it's going to be on, unless that Nintendo game, that whatever exclusive or whatever that's on the Switch 2, Blood Dust or whatever, is going to be across on all platforms, they'll do it. But if it's not, then they're just going to do one and done, and that's it. Just like how they're doing it with Sony. Bloodborne is one and done. They're not coming back. They're not doing anything with Bloodborne. And everybody else is damage controlling, and Wormhole say, well, it didn't do so well. And all those could be a factor. But I think the biggest factor is From Software is not doing it because it's not fucking worth doing it, because if they did it and they want to put it on another platform or put it on PC, they're going to get fucking blocked by 120 countries. And they're just going to make them less money. And then when you go into the PlayStation store, right? Guess where you see Elden Ring Night Ring? #1 on the charts. Well, not #1 on the charts, but it's on the first page on the PlayStation storefront. There it is. Now it starts to make sense why they're not fucking doing it. And then it just gets even worse. With right now, with like the live service of Fair Game, with Jane Raymond left, and it's super clunky, a cross between Fortnite and The Division. This game is about to get canceled. And I'm not going to be surprised that this game will get canceled before this game even release. If it's like this and it's an alpha and it's super clunky and it's just fucking trash, then this is done. How are you going to get player engagement with this shit? But then when you start looking at Xbox and what they're doing, Gears of War Reloaded, when that game drops on PlayStation, guess where it's going to be at? Right here on the top, right here on the first page. It's gonna do numbers. People are gonna play it. PlayStation fans over there are gonna play it, and they're gonna enjoy it. And then PlayStation talk about player and engagement, and you keep on doing this dumb shit. And then here's that same example that I'm going to say again. That where, for me, right, I do appreciate PlayStation games. I do like some of their games. This is one of those things where this is why I don't get a PlayStation fucking 5. There's no point of getting it. Because it's like, okay, I like this game. I want to see a sequel. And you're not fucking doing it. Now, one of those games, to be frank with you, is the Order of 1886. Personally, for me, I'd much rather play this game over this game. Over Hellblade 2. Okay? That's just me. I'm not saying Hellblade 2 is a bad game or whatever. For me, right, if we're talking about cinematic, whatever type of style games like that, PlayStation has a game over there that I will love to play and purchase. And that's the Order of 1886. Ready at Dawn did a fantastic job. They really did. I put credit where credit is due. When I saw that on at the showcase, and that was running on the PlayStation 4, I said, damn, this is next generation. They got this. Right? And so, here we are, right? $20, Order 1886. I really do like this game, and I put respect on it. But then when you look over here on this article, the Order 1886 developer Ready at Dawn has been shut down by Meta. So basically, with Facebook and Meta, they purchased them for. And I'm not gonna sit here and blame Facebook and Meta for this, fiasco. You know who I'm gonna blame? I'm gonna blame fucking Sony PlayStation. Knowing damn fucking well that this game came out. When does this game release? This game released at 2015. So by the time when this game was released, to the time where Meta was closed in 2024? So how many years was that? So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's literally 9 fucking years that PlayStation and Sony had plenty of time to negotiate and to make a purchase, especially they had $5 billion. But yet they wasted that money on spending it on fucking Bungie, $3.6 billion. Why you didn't give fucking this studio $1 billion and have purchase them and have them working on AAA fucking games? And they could have been working on what? The next Order of 1886. That's going to get people excited and player and fucking engagement. That's going to get me excited. Because you showing me that you're putting in the money and the effort to make games, and then you're going to make sequels that I like, that I want to see, that I want to play. And I'm not getting it. Every game that I sat there and said, look, from all the way back from PlayStation fucking 2, I wanted another getaway game. I wanted another getaway game. And I was excited for it until they canceled it. And then look at this. fucking 15, 20 years later, guess what? Here's a PlayStation game that I like to see and I want to play and I want to see a sequel. Now we're not getting it. And it just hurts me. This is the reason why I do not purchase a PlayStation fucking 5. You got games, but you don't got sequels to games that I want to see. But then you putting trash ass fucking live service games and sequels that are fucking boring as fuck. I don't care about Horizon. I don't care about The Last of Us. Those are fine games in their own rights. But I don't fucking care. Every time when I'm picking out games that I want to see sequels or has potentials of being great, they always either they don't purchase the studio and they get shut down, or they don't make the game ever again. It's evidence. It's right here. We've seen it happen. 9 fucking years. They had all this billions and billions of fucking dollars. They could have easily purchased this studio and have them working where? Probably right underneath or making a sister company of Sony Santa Monica. And have them make some different games instead of fucking God of War games all the time. You know, that would be great. It. But nope. Nope. Sony just continues to go down. They are continuing to go down. This is crazy. I want to see a sequel to this game. I want to know more about the story. And this is why I blame fucking PlayStation, because you could have easily purchased a studio, could have easily got them doing something else, whatever. Nope. But they're willing to make these garbage ass live service games and get canceled, putting hundreds and millions of fucking dollars, shutting down studios and stuff like, you know, London Studio, who was the makers of making The Getaway. You got them making fucking VR garbage while they should be making AAA games. But I digress. And it continues, but you know, they don't want to spend $3.6 billion or $2 billion on this studio right here that has so much fucking potential from fucking 9 years ago. Could have easily purchased within those 9 years. But they're sitting there saying, yeah, you know, it'd be great to do a you know, let's purchase Bungie. Yeah, you know, making these live service games. Right? And Sony is prioritizing monthly active users. Okay. And then look at this. Sony isn't happy with Bungie. PlayStation boss want more accountability from the studio on money and deadlines. Yep, because Marathon is not doing good because they took away the marketing for it. Right? Marketing for Marathon reportedly been canceled following plagiarism controversy. So basically, they've been stealing artwork, half-assing the game. This game was trash. I already made a video about this. But you can see every time there's nothing good about PlayStation. There's nothing good. And they need to be held more accountable. And they keep wasting money and bullshit on this. While they could have been hiring great studios like this right here, Ready at Dawn, it would have been a fantastic fucking purchase. Could have got them making another sequel of the Order 1886. That might give me some hope and saying maybe I should get a PlayStation 5. But they proved to me that they clearly, that they supposedly have, they are the market leader. They clearly are a bunch of fucking buffoons and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Clearly. And the evidence shows. It shows it right here. And the people saying, oh, you should get a play. No. Why would I get a PlayStation 5 if you're not making games that I want to see that have sequels? Every time when I have a game or I like a game about something and I want to see a sequel for it, it always either get canceled or they're not going to make it. Just like this, Bloodborne. Everybody has potential with Bloodborne and stuff like that. Here's the potential in this and this and that. And look, From Software said, no, we're not fucking doing it. Even Helldivers, that's fucking successful. Player engagement and all this they're saying, Hey, our next game is going to be 100% funded. We understand about PlayStation shenanigans and their fucking parody clause, but we're just letting our fan base know we're not taking the Sony deal. So don't expect fucking Helldivers 3 anytime soon. Does that sound like fucking confidence to you? It certainly doesn't for me. It fucking doesn't. It fucking doesn't. It's just a disappointment. Every fucking time they keep fucking up. And then we already know with the Insomniac leaks, right? Insomniac leaks. Hack of Wolverine that is playable on the PC. And an employee's data. And that's another thing too. Got all these billions and billions of fucking dollars, but yet their lackluster fucking security is still happening now. It's still happening to this day. They got billions and billions of dollars, cannot even make improve in their security and their software. Nope. They don't want to do that. But they want to spend on these live service projects that are failing, wasting hundreds, if not millions of fucking dollars and billions of dollars. They don't want to purchase a talented, like, actual studio dev that actually will be beneficial for fucking PlayStation. They don't want to purchase fucking Ready at Dawn, and now they're fucking shut down. That's not going to happen ever again. And they own the IP for it. So who's going to do this? Seriously, but they're willing to put in $3.6 billion on Bungie, and they want player engagement, but yet they're not happy with what they're doing. They need to be held accountable with their money and deadline. And what? And their funding got taken away because of Marathon, this shitty ass fucking game that looks half-assed, incomplete garbage. But they're talking about they want player engagements and money. And then meanwhile, you see over here, all Xbox got to do is drop Gears of War over there. And guess what? Player engagements. Here we go. Wait, here we go. Player engagements. Right up here on the top charts. Watch. Dropping Hellblade over there. Guess where it's going to be at? It's going to be right here. Somewhere on this first page. It's going to be somewhere on here. That's for sure. At some point. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's going to be on here. It's going to be on here. For sure. Another Xbox game. Publish. It's disappointing. It really is. And it just goes to show that Xbox is fucking dominating. Say as you will about the price hikes on the consoles, the $80, and certain little things about Xbox, what they're doing, putting games over there, whatever. But it goes to show that their strategy in as a whole in general right now is fucking working. And they're not fucking around. They literally have all 5 fingers in the gaming industry right now as a whole. Like they got all 5 of their fingers gripping. They got PlayStation making them look like a fucking fool. They look like a fool and they're wasting money. They're talking about player engagement. Gears of War Reloaded is going to give them player engagement. Xbox is doing it. Xbox is making shit happen. They're putting studios together. They're collaborating. They're working with other publishers. You see Xbox and Sega, they're collaborating. They're working together. They're saying, hey, put that game on Game Pass. Don't put it on PlayStation over there. They're making it happen. Whether you like it or you don't, right? I think it's not fair. They should put it across on all platforms. But personally, for me, that I don't give a fuck because I'm used to what PlayStation been doing for years and decades. Been doing that, like these time exclusive and money hacking for Xbox games, right? Not coming over there on their platform. And now they're gonna get their taste of their own fucking medicine. And on top of that, they're just throwing games over there, making PlayStation look like fools. Yeah, we want player engagement. How many Xbox games on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's on the first page. And all the rest is third party, and then you got one PlayStation game right here is Destiny 2. But they haven't even put no money into Destiny 2. But that's Bungie. And you see where Bungie is at now. $3.6 billion. You see where they at right now. Billions of dollars, and they still can't even get their fucking security together. And all their employees' data, emails, and where the fuck they live. This is Sony employees, their own employees. That Sony and PlayStation fucking purchased Insomniac. Their own employees got their fucking shit out in the dark web. Fucking their emails, their address, phone numbers. Yeah, this is PlayStation Sony. This is them getting fucking massive hacked. They got all these billions of dollars they could have easily put into, you know, improving their software, their security. No, they're not doing it. They're not doing shit. They're worried about these live service games, and they're fucking failing too. We're not gonna see another sequel for this Stellar Blade 2. We're not gonna see another sequel. Because after this fucking shenanigans, they're making a game and they're funding it themselves. And they're not gonna put it as a PlayStation fucking exclusive. We've seen it with Square Enix. Helldivers 2, fucking successful. Fucking successful. And they're even saying, no, we're not doing this bullshit. And then Xbox is building a relationship with this studio right here, with Expedition 33, with this studio. They're building a relationship and have a good partnership. So when the next Expedition 33 going to be coming out, a sequel or whatever, guess what? It's not that fucking hard for either that studio or Xbox, and the publisher will pick up the phone and say, hey, you're working on another game? Yeah. Oh, we was wondering if you want to do the same thing like we did with Expedition 33. You know, we gave you the check and you put it on Game Pass, and we'll let you release it on all platforms. Oh, that sounds nice. Okay, yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, our game was so successful thanks to you. We appreciate it, and we're gonna, you know, work more with you together. Oh, you know what that's called? That's called a relationship. You see that? You see how this shit works? I'm telling you right now. All of this shit right now in the road to 2023, in the roadmap 2023, all of this bullshit is starting to come together now. They're not playing. They are going to dominate. They are dominating in this generation. They're going to dominate next generation. They are set for the future. It's crazy. And like, again, they're going to keep on money hacking some of these fucking games. Don't think for a minute. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled thinking like, oh, this is going to be a one-time thing. This is going to be one of many. How many games? I don't know. I don't know how many games will it be. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This is going to be the start of many. And they're still going to be dropping games over there. They're just going to be dropping more games over there on the PlayStation platform. And they're going to sit there and say, yeah, we're going to money hack the same way how you did from the past couple of fucking years. Just because these companies out here, they're all like, you know, shaking their hands and trying to pretend to be their friends and stuff like that, singing all this kumbaya bullshit. Let me tell you something. They're out here. They don't give a fuck. They're gonna stab these motherfuckers in the back. They don't care, man. They can shake your hand, but they still got the knife and slowly about to stab them in the back. Sega letting fucking Sony knows, like, we're not taking your fucking deals. We'll take an Xbox deal over your shit any day of the week. Because guess what? They're probably gonna release it at some point down the road. But hey, Xbox dropped the bag for us. They want to put it in their Game Pass, and we can put it on PC without no issues and parity clause. I like again. I wouldn't be surprised if Sega said, "Hey, we can put this game on the Nintendo Switch too," which they fucking can, and they will. And we know Xbox games is going to be doing the same thing, going to be putting games on the Nintendo Switch too. Xbox is fucking dominating. They're not playing. This is going to be one of many. How many games are there? I don't know. How many games? They're basically saying, yeah, we're gonna have our cake and eat it too. They're just doing both. And letting you motherfuckers know, and all you PlayStation fanboys, they're letting you know right now. They're letting you know. If this is not a sign, if this is not a message, they're letting you know. And they're strategizing. They're strategically strategizing to do what? You know what it is? They're going to be spending them right out of business. Let's read this together, because this was the leak email from the FTC. And it's coming for real. It's coming for fruition. It's happening now. Look, let's read this. Well, look at this. We'll put it right here. Microsoft are in a very unique position to be able to go spin Sony out of business. If we think that video game content matters in 10 years, we might look back and say, totally would have been worth it to lose $2 billion or $3 billion in 2020. To avoid the situation where Tencent and Google and Amazon or even Sony have become the Disney of games and own most of the valuable content where they money hack shit. Yeah, you read that fucking sentence, and then guess what? Let's break it down piece by piece before I wrap up this video. He says right here, in a unique position, we're able to spin Sony out of business. If we think video game content matters in 10 years. We're on Game Pass. Look. All the content right here. All the content. And they still making sequels to these games. And people are still buying them. And they're putting it on the PlayStation platform. And the PlayStation platform and all those PlayStation fans is letting Microsoft know, we love your games and we will keep on buying them. We will keep on purchasing them. Look at all the video content right here. Look. And they still going to continue, keep on making games. Look at all the video gaming content. Look. You seeing it, right? Read this right here. What does it says right here? In a unique position 10 years, if like right here, if we think that video game content matters in 10 years. Oh yeah, it does matter, because look, they're doing it right now. Porting games over there on PlayStation in August, fucking PlayStation up, and they're spinning them right out of business and telling Sega, hey, we'll drop you the bag, just don't put it on PlayStation. We know this box is missing. Look at this. Handheld devices. Look at them. They're not fucking around. They're not playing. Look at this. Microsoft is testing out Steam integration within the Microsoft Store, and that could potentially be next generation consoles. Look at this. Backwards compatibility, retro classic games. This is starting to happen and drop. We know this is going to grow. It's going to be even more content. And then look. Xbox seamlessly working on backwards compatibility for the next Xbox console, which is a hybrid PC. Shit is starting to come to fruition, and this is the results. Look, this is the results right here. And we're seeing it right here over here. Look at Xbox dominating on this platform. Xbox. That's a promotion that Xbox promoted Expedition 33 and is on Game Pass with content. Another one right here, Minecraft, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. And then you go on the next page. Look at this. Even on the second page, man. Look at it. One PlayStation game right here. That's not even the remaster of The Last of Us Part 2. That's not even the remaster version. That's the old version. Look at this. Indiana Jones. Look at this. Sega's doing well. They got Space Marine 2 right here on the second page. They're doing just fine. And what? And another Xbox game right here. Diablo 4. More content. And look at this. Another one right here. Fallout 76. And only one PlayStation game over here. That's on the second page. It's on the second page. And look, and you see the results. You see the results? Microsoft Xbox. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're gonna be spending them straight out of business, alright? Yep. 10 years, definitely is. We might look back and say, it was totally worth losing $2 or $3 billion. And now they are a $3 trillion company. They went from $2 billion, $3 billion to now the purchases and stuff like that. Now they're worth over $3 trillion. They're right behind fucking Apple. Apple is up here. Microsoft is right here. Where's Sony at? Oh, they're down here. They're not doing so well. They're not right behind Microsoft. They're down here. You know who's up there? That's Tencent. Tencent, Google, Amazon. They're up there. Sony? They're dead last. And Sony have become with Disney content of owning most of the valuable content. Yeah, money hacking games. And guess what? Look, we can go down the list right here. Look at all the threats that they were saying. Now those threats are coming to reality, just like this right here. Yep. All of this right here, that's closed down. Look at all the fan base right here. You're gonna make it easier to departure. They already been doing that. We're already seeing that happen because guess what? We're already seeing that happen because look. PC Game Pass hits 45% year-over-year growth and is going to continue going up. Not going down, going up. Going up. Next generation is going to be even higher. Yep. Let's go down the list of the bullshit. Look, player engagement. Look at this. Helldivers. You ain't going to see a Helldivers 3 anytime soon. And they're going to make it multi-platform. They said, nope, we're not taking the Sony deal. Even Hellblade 2 is getting that rude awakening. Because guess what? You don't see Stellar Blade. Sorry, getting mixed up the two. Stellar Blade is getting hit with blocking over 120 countries on the PC. And it's supposed to be released on there. They're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And then look at this. Meanwhile, Hellblade 2 over there is coming to PlayStation 5. It's been on Xbox, PC, and Game Pass with no restrictions. And they're putting it on here, and guess where it's going to be at? Right here on the top charts. It's going to be on here. PlayStation going to buy it and eat it up, and then it's going to be on here on the first page. Making fucking money. Making fucking money, getting that engagement. Right? Sony want that engagement too, right? But this right here, they said, yeah, our next game is going to be 100% funded. We're not taking the Sony deal. So we're not going to see Stellar Blade 2 anytime soon. Just like how we're not going to see a Helldivers 2, a Helldivers 3 anytime soon. And then just like how right here from Software, yeah, we wouldn't mind doing a Bloodborne whatever remaster remake, but can we put that game onto other platforms too, like on the PC? Oh, we can? Oh, but you know what? We're going to get blocked over 120 countries, right? And then meanwhile, their fucking game right here is not being blocked by 120 countries. Look at this. Top, it's on the chart. Night Rain right here. Doing well. And I guarantee you on PC, it's doing well. Making money. They're going up. They're not going down. From Software want money to go up. They want player engagement to go up. They don't want parity clause from fucking this one right here. They don't want their game to get blocked by 120 countries. That's why they're basically saying, well, if you ain't gonna get your shit together, then we're not doing shit about Bloodborne. So you know damn well they're not gonna make a Bloodborne 2. That ain't happening. Now you start to understand. Now it starts to wake up your eyes like, oh shit. Sony is fucking up. Just as much as their live service game, Fair Games, is a clunky fucking mess. And whatever, J-Ray, she's out of there. She's not even at the studio anymore. And they purchased the studio and got them making this clunky fucking mess. Well, we know this is going to get canceled. The Order of 1886, one of my games that when I saw this game, I want to play it. I loved it. I like this more than Hellblade 2. Y'all telling me I should go out there and get a PlayStation fucking 5. What's the point of getting a PlayStation 5 if, guess what? They had 9 years to purchase this developer, Ready at Dawn, and could have been making AAA games right now and could have been beneficial for Sony right now than these live service garbage ass games that are being canceled and clunky. They could have had single player games ready to go and have people be excited. No, they don't want to spend $3.6 billion on this studio. They said, no, we'll let this studio die. We'll let this game to be IP in the closet, just like the rest of their fucking IPs. We'll purchase Bungie for $3.6 billion. They want monthly active users and engagement. Well, Helldivers was successful. Helldivers 2 was successful. And they're saying they're not making a Helldivers 3 anytime soon, and their next game is going to be multi-platform. No matter how much Sony can give out the deals, if they don't take them, then basically they don't have to take them. They don't have to take them at all. In which they're not. And they're stopping that. Even Shift Up, a small indie studio that's coming up, even Shift Up with Stellar Blade, they're saying, no, we're not doing it. Square Enix is going multi-platform. They're saying their games ain't being so well. They're going to be on multi-platform now strategy. They're spending $3.6 billion on this one. Not Ready at Dawn. They don't want to spend that studio, but they're spending it on this. And now Sony is just not happy and all this stuff and need to be held accountable with their shit. But they want player engagement numbers. Yeah? You want player engagement numbers? Yeah, what about that marathon marketing from Bungie? The next big game. Not Destiny 3. They said, no, we're going to do marathon. And it's already, the marketing is being canceled already. I wouldn't be surprised this game is going to get canceled, just like Fair Games. I wouldn't be surprised. All those $5 billion, you don't want to spend it on your security and your software shit. But people telling me that, oh, I should go get a PlayStation 5. But yet, they're going to be, and then here's Microsoft and Xbox is going to be spending Sony right out of business. Oh yeah, there's definitely spending PlayStation right out of business. For sure, 110%, they're going to spend them right out of business. The evidence is here. The evidence is clear as day. Xbox is fucking dominating. Whether you like it or you don't. Okay? You see it right here in front of you. They're fucking dominating. They're fucking killing it right now. And PlayStation is just L. Look at this. And none of these PlayStation fanboys are even talking about this. None of them. L after L after L. This is a L. This is a W. Everybody's gonna play this game. Xbox is making money. This is a L. L after L after L after L. Because you know damn well Sony PlayStation could have easily purchased the studio. They had 9 years to do it. Nope. But they're spending money on Bungie, $3.6 billion. L. They want player engagement? Well, that's not happening because you took away the marketing from Marathon. Nobody gives a fuck about this game. Another L. Another L. This whole entire generation, PlayStation has been getting nothing but L's and studio closures, 10 live service games that failed, 1 service game has succeeded, but they're not making another Helldivers 3 anytime soon because of PlayStation parity caused shenanigans. Oh yeah, it's done. It's over. It's over. I'm leaving this up. I want you to read this. I want you to read this. Because I guarantee you everything is coming true. It is coming true. The roadmap for 2023 for Xbox, this is the domination roadmap. And they are dominating across every platform, and including on PlayStation 5. Including the PlayStation 5. They are dominating, making money. All of these big giant publishers are going third-party multi-plat. They're not doing no take a deal from Sony, doing all this bullshit. They're not doing it. They're seeing what Xbox is doing, putting it across on all platforms, and they're continuing to grow. Handheld, another console. They're making more games. We're getting more sequels from these games. We're going to get more sequels from these motherfucking games. We're going to get more of these sequels, bro. We're going to get another Forza Horizon 6. We're going to get another Starfield game. We're going to get another Elder Scrolls game. All Xbox games that's on here with Xbox Studio games, most likely, most of these games are going to get another sequel. We know we're going to get another Gears of War. We're going to get another Halo. We're going to get more games. We have Outer Worlds 2. It's getting another sequel. This is a platform that I can see myself investing in because we're going to get games that I like to play and we're going to get more sequels. We're not seeing that same energy on PlayStation. And the proof is there. Proof is in the pudding cup. We are seeing this. The road to 2023 on Xbox is insane. It's insane. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to end it here. So hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. Make sure you like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave your thoughts down below. What are you guys thinking right now in terms of the future? It seems to me that Xbox and everything that they're doing in terms of the handheld, right? Their consoles, backwards compatibility, content, everything that I'm pointing out is setting for success for the next generation consoles. They are building themselves and building a foundation and a roadmap to build for success. And then meanwhile, PlayStation over there, I don't know what the fuck are they doing. I want PlayStation to succeed. I'm telling you right now, I really do. I want them to make money. I want them to grow and do stuff. But the choices and the shit that they're doing is not helping them. That's why I leave it and I ended with this video with this email, because honestly, everything in this email with just that little bit of sentences right there, bro, it just goes to show, it's an eye-opener to see that, oh my God, it's coming to fruition. And I wouldn't be surprised Sony's gonna get spent out of business. They already is right now. Xbox and Microsoft is running circles. Not only just money hacking games from Space Marine, remaster, and they're putting it on Game Pass day and date, and it's gonna be on PC as well. And that's just one of many. And who knows? They're not gonna just stop from one. They're gonna continue doing that. Whether you like it or you don't. Again, PlayStation fanboys, they don't like it. For me personally, like, again, I don't see PlayStation games coming to my platform, but I can care less. Because they've been doing that shit for years. And they did that for other third-party games as well. Money hack shit too. But Xbox showing me that they're putting out games. They're just dropping games back to back. Just dropping them. Boom. Putting it on Game Pass. I'm eating fucking good. I'm getting all of these games, and all the games that I've been playing and investing, I'm getting sequels to those games, and we're getting other new games and new IPs as well. I'm not getting that shit from fucking Sony. I'm not getting that shit from fucking PlayStation. What are we getting over there? Marathon is a joke. Lost Soul aside, they're not even promoting that game. They're promoting a game for 20 fucking minutes of gameplay of fucking Borderlands, knowing that Borderlands and Gearbox and Take-Two has their own fucking YouTube channels and shit. They can do their own live stream events on there. Why Sony? Sony should be promoting their own games like Ghost of Yote coming out in October 7th. They're not even showing that. And supposedly they're going to have another State of Play. Xbox June Showcase is literally like, what, 2 weeks away? A week and something change away. And they're putting out games after games. And bro, like, dude, I'm eating good. I'm not even worried about fucking PlayStation, nor the fan base. The PlayStation fanboys, they can talk the shit all they want. Everything that I seen and I showed you in this fucking video is already proof enough that Xbox is dominating in this generation. They won this generation, hands down, and I've been saying that, and I called it. And it just shows the proof that they are. They fucking are. You guys, you gotta stop the cap. This gotta stop. Credit where credit is due. Cut your losses. Get on PlayStation ass and tell them to get off their fucking butt and start putting out games. Stop worrying about Xbox and Microsoft. They need to get their own shit together, or else they are not going to be prepared for PlayStation 6. Because if they're stumbling right now on the PlayStation 5 with all of these L's, how are they going to get themselves ready for PlayStation 6? You tell me. How? What games are they going to get prepared and ready for PlayStation 6? Intergalactic and the Prophet of Heretic from fucking Naughty Dog? You think that game is going to be a blockbuster hit on that PlayStation 6? Come on. Like, you gotta stop the cap. It's over. It's done. Xbox won this generation, and they're going to be prepared to win next generation. PlayStation 5 in this generation has lost this generation, and they are not prepared for next generation for PlayStation 6. They are under prepared. They don't have the money. They don't got the funds. They don't know what to do, how to make stuff, what studios that they should be. They don't know shit. They don't know nothing about the PlayStation fan base at all. It's clear as day. They don't even know their own fan base. And the fan base over there right now, currently, they're all buying third-party and Xbox games. Barely or rarely any PlayStation studio title games. And if not, none of them motherfucking shits is not even on the top chart on their own PlayStation store. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. But hey, let me know in the comment section down below. Okay? It seems to me that Xbox roadmap is solid. Content dropping, making new sequels, putting out sequels to games that we already have, that's existing. They're going to be still making, and they are continuing down this road. And they're going to continue to dominate over the PlayStation market. PlayStation is done. They're not even the market leader anymore. The market leader now is Xbox and fucking Microsoft. They are the market leader, not Sony and PlayStation. Even Greg Miller in his podcast has admitted that Xbox future roadmap in terms of gaming and content, the future is bright for them. They got that in the bag. We're seeing it now. So there you have it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.